Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever chased something so desperately loved, success, validation, only to watch it slip through your fingers like sand? You call, they don't answer. You push, they pull away. You beg, and the world seems to mock your longing. Why? Because life, like water, cannot be grasped. The more you clutch at it, the more it escapes. Now, imagine the opposite. Imagine standing firm at ease, completely at peace with yourself. No grasping, no begging, no chasing, just a quiet confidence that whatever is meant for you will find its way. And what happens? People return. Opportunities flow. The very things you once fought for now come knocking at your door. This is not magic. This is not coincidence. It is a fundamental law of existence, one that many misunderstand. Tonight, I invite you to step into this understanding, to stop blocking, to stop begging, and to let life reveal its most shocking yet inevitable results. Are you ready? Then let's begin. We spend our lives believing that control is the key to security. We structure, we strategize, we manipulate, and we persuade, thinking that if we can just hold the right strings, life will bend to our will. But this is the great mistake, the fundamental illusion that leads to suffering. Look at the way people grasp at relationships, careers, or even the perception others have of them. There is a belief deep down that if we say the right words, act the right way, or push hard enough, the world will respond as we desire. And yet, what happens? The more we chase, the more it runs. The more we beg, the more it resists. This is because control is not power. It is, in fact, a sign of fear. Consider the way water flows. It moves effortlessly, finding its path without resistance. If you try to seize it in your hands, it slips through your fingers. If you attempt to block it, it finds another way. Life, relationships, and success function in precisely the same manner. The more you attempt to force an outcome, the more you create friction, and the more likely it is that what you seek will elude you. People sense when they are being pulled, when they are being caged, and instinctively they rebel. The harder you try to keep someone, the stronger their desire to escape. This is not a flaw in them, but a reaction to the energy of control itself. We see this in all aspects of life. The job you desperately want rejects you. The person you cling to distances themselves. The outcome you try to manipulate backfires, but look at what happens when you let go. When you stop grasping at something, it often comes to you on its own. Why? Because what is free feels no need to resist. Imagine holding a bird in your hands. If you clutch too tightly, it will struggle, desperate to escape. But if you leave your hands open, it may choose to stay. The same applies to people, opportunities, and even happiness itself. This illusion of control is deeply ingrained in us. From childhood, we are taught that effort equals reward, that persistence leads to success. And while effort has its place, it must be aligned with a deeper understanding of flow. There is a difference between intentional action and desperate grasping. The one who acts with ease, who moves with confidence, without neediness, becomes naturally attractive. Not just in relationships, but in all things. The world responds to those who do not demand, but instead radiate a quiet assurance. If you watch those who seem effortlessly successful, effortlessly loved, effortlessly at peace, you will notice one thing. They do not beg, they do not force, and they do not chase. They allow. They trust. They move with life rather than against it, and in doing so, they experience what those trapped in the illusion of control never will: true freedom, true influence, and the shocking results of letting go. Life is not a machine to be controlled, but a dance to be enjoyed. Yet most people treat it as something rigid, something that must be tamed, measured, and forced into submission. They believe that if they hold on tightly enough, whether to people, plans, or expectations, they can shape their reality exactly as they wish. But what they fail to see is that this very act of grasping disrupts the natural rhythm of existence. Imagine two dancers on a stage. One is stiff, trying to predict every move, trying to dictate every step in advance. The other is fluid, listening to the music, adapting, flowing with the rhythm rather than against it. Who do you think moves with more grace? Who do you think experiences more joy? Life operates in precisely the same way. The more rigidly you try to impose your will, the more you trip over your own feet. The more you surrender to the movement, the more effortlessly everything unfolds. People do not like to be controlled. Love, friendships, business relationships, none of them thrive under the weight of force. The moment you try to dictate how someone should feel about you, how they should act, or where they should be in your life, you introduce tension. It's like trying to force a flower to bloom before its time. You can pull at the petals, you can try to force them open, but in doing so, you only destroy the beauty that would have naturally unfolded. The same is true with people. The moment they sense that you are trying to hold them too tightly, their instinct is to pull away. It's not because they don't care, but because the very nature of control repels. This is why those who are desperate for love often struggle to find it, while those who are at ease attract it effortlessly. The one who dances lightly through life without neediness, without desperation, becomes a magnet. Not because they are manipulating the situation, but because they have learned to move with the current rather than against it. They trust that what is meant for them will find its way, and this trust makes them profoundly attractive not just to people, but to opportunities, to success, to life itself. In the grand dance of existence, the ones who flourish are not those who grip tightly, but those who release. This is not passivity. It is not about giving up or lacking direction. It is about understanding that life is always in motion, and that the best way to move forward is not to struggle against the tide, but to move in harmony with it. There is a reason the most powerful forces in nature, wind, water, fire, do not struggle, they flow. And when you learn to do the same, when you step into life's rhythm rather than trying to dictate it, you will find that everything you once chased begins to move towards you. The dance of life was never meant to be forced. It was meant to be felt, to be trusted, to be enjoyed. There is a paradox at the heart of life that most people fail to see. The more you try to hold on to something, the more likely it is to slip away. Yet when you let go, truly let go, it has a way of coming back to you, often in ways you never expected. This is not wishful thinking. It is a fundamental law of human nature and existence itself. Think about how many times in your life you've wanted something so badly that you obsessed over it, perhaps a relationship, a job, or a certain outcome. You strategized, you pushed, you did everything you could to make it happen. But instead of drawing it closer, you felt it moving further out of reach. Why? Because grasping creates resistance. The energy of desperation repels rather than attracts. People can sense when they are being pursued, not out of genuine connection, but out of need. And instinctively they step back. The same is true for opportunities, for success, for happiness itself. When you chase something with the energy of lack, you affirm to the universe that you do not have it, and so it remains elusive. But contrast that with the times when you have let go, when you stopped obsessing, when you released the need for a specific outcome. What happened? More often than not, things started flowing effortlessly. The job you stopped worrying about suddenly became available. The person who was distant suddenly became interested again. The opportunities you thought were lost reappeared in unexpected ways. This is because when you let go, you create space. You allow things to unfold naturally instead of forcing them into an unnatural mold. Letting go does not mean giving up. It does not mean becoming passive or indifferent. It means shifting from attachment to trust. It means acting without desperation, moving forward without fear. When you operate from a place of inner fullness rather than need, the world responds to you differently. You become someone who is attractive, not because you are trying to be, but because you do not radiate the energy of lack. Look at the most charismatic, successful, and influential people. Do they beg for attention? Do they chase after validation? No, they move through the world with ease, with certainty, with the quiet confidence that what is meant for them will arrive. And because of this it does. Their lack of neediness creates an effortless magnetism. The greatest things in life cannot be forced. Love, friendship, success, even happiness itself, they all come when you are aligned, when you are at peace with yourself. The more you try to grip them tightly, the more they struggle to be free. But when you trust, when you let go, when you stop chasing and start flowing, life is a way of giving you everything you once thought you had to fight for. Most people believe that the way to get what they want is through direct control, by pushing, pulling, convincing, or manipulating circumstances in their favor. But what if the real secret to success, to relationships, to happiness is not in interference, but in allowing things to unfold naturally? What if the less you force, the more you receive? Life is always in motion. It is like a river constantly flowing, adapting and adjusting. When you interfere, when you try to control people, outcomes, or situations, you disrupt this natural flow. You create tension where there should be ease. You create resistance where there should be movement. And ironically, the very thing you are trying to hold on to starts slipping away. This is because control is rooted in fear, fear of loss, fear of uncertainty, fear of things not going your way. But fear itself is a repellent. It pushes away what you want instead of drawing it closer. Consider the relationships in your life. Have you ever noticed that the more you try to control someone, the more distant they become? The more you check on them, question them, and try to direct their actions, the more they pull away. This is because people, like all living things, crave freedom. They do not want to be forced. They want to be chosen. They do not want to be pressured. They want to feel naturally drawn to you, until on you. And the moment they sense interference, they instinctively resist. But when you let go, when you allow them the space to move freely, something shifts. They come closer, not because they have to, but because they want to. The same principle applies to success, to opportunities, to the unfolding of life itself. The moment you try to force an outcome, you block the very forces that are working in your favor. You send a signal that you do not trust the process, that you believe things must happen on your terms and your timeline. But life does not work that way. The most powerful moments, the greatest opportunities, and the most profound connections happen when you are open, not when you are controlling. Non-interference is not passivity. It is not about sitting back and doing nothing. It is about aligning yourself with the flow of life instead of resisting it. It is about knowing when to act and when to allow. It is about trusting that what is meant for you will find you, not because you forced it, but because you were in the right place at the right time in the right state of mind. When you stop interfering, when you stop forcing, when you stop trying to shape every little detail of your life, you create space for something greater than you ever imagined. You allow life to surprise you. You allow people to choose you. You allow success to come effortlessly, without struggle, without resistance. And when you experience this, you will realize that the greatest power is not in controlling, but in letting go. Desire is natural. It is the driving force behind all human action, the longing for love, success, connection, and meaning. But there is a fine line between desire and desperation, and that difference determines whether you attract what you want or push it away. Most people do not see this. They believe that wanting something intensely, chasing after it relentlessly, will bring it closer. But the truth is, the more desperate you are, the more what you seek will evade you. Desperation has a specific energy, one of lack, fear, and insecurity. When you desire something from this state of mind, you are not truly drawing it toward you, you are repelling it. Why? Because desperation carries an unspoken message. I need this to feel whole. Without it, I am incomplete. This energy is heavy, it feels like pressure. People sense it, situations resist it, and life responds by keeping what you want just out of reach. Contrast this with someone who desires but does not cling. Their energy is different. They move with confidence, with ease, with an inner knowing that what is meant for them will come. And because of this, it does. Look at the way people behave in relationships. The one who begs for attention, who constantly seeks reassurance, who fears being abandoned, often ends up alone. But the one who is secure in themselves, who enjoys the presence of another without needing it, naturally draws people in. The same applies to success. The entrepreneur who launches a business from a place of desperation, chasing money, chasing recognition, often struggles. But the one who builds from passion, from a sense of purpose, from an inner confidence that success will come, attracts opportunities effortlessly. This is not about indifference. It is not about pretending you do not care. It is about understanding that true attraction, whether in relationships, careers, or life itself, comes not from external pursuit, but from internal alignment. When you desire without desperation, you create space for what you want to move toward you. You no longer choke your desires with fear or insecurity. You simply allow. Think of the most charismatic, influential people you know. Do they chase? Do they beg? No. They radiate, they trust. They move with an energy that says, I am enough as I am, and what is meant for me will find me. And because they embody this truth, life rewards them with the very things others struggle so hard to grasp. To desire without desperation is to understand the power of detachment, not in the sense of not caring, but in knowing that your worth is not tied to any external outcome. It is moving through life with the quiet confidence that whatever you seek is also seeking you. And in that space of ease, of trust, of certainty, shocking results begin to unfold. There is nothing more attractive than someone who is truly free, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. A person who does not cling, who does not beg, who does not try to possess or control. They move through life with a quiet confidence and effortless magnetism that draws people, opportunities, and success toward them. Why? Because freedom is irresistible. Most people operate from a place of attachment. They believe that in order to keep something, they must hold on to it tightly, whether it's a relationship, a job, or a certain image of themselves. But attachment creates fear, fear of loss, fear of being alone, fear of not being enough. And fear repels. The one who clings is often the one who is left behind. The one who grasps desperately is often the one who ends up with nothing. But look at those who are free. The ones who do not need to convince anyone to stay. The ones who do not seek validation to feel worthy. They have a certain presence, a certain ease that makes people want to be around them. They are complete within themselves, and because of this, they never chase, yet everything seems to come to them effortlessly. This is not luck. It is not coincidence. It is the natural result of being unattached. Freedom is not about isolation or indifference. It does not mean rejecting love, success, or ambition. It means engaging with life fully, but without fear. It means knowing that you can enjoy someone's presence without needing to control them. That you can pursue your dreams without being paralyzed by the fear of failure. That you can experience the highs and lows of life without losing yourself in them. When you embody this, the world responds differently to you. People are drawn to your energy. They feel safe with you, not because you hold on to them, but because you do not need to. Look at history, at the artists, the leaders, the visionaries who captivated the world. They did not beg for attention. They did not try to force love or success. They simply lived in alignment with their truth, and the world followed. This is the secret that so few understand. The less you need, the more you receive. The less you cling, the more life flows in your favor. Freedom is the ultimate attraction because it signals strength, confidence, and abundance. It tells the world, I am whole as I am. And when you embody this, life responds in ways you never expected. You do not have to chase. You do not have to beg. You simply have to be free and watch as everything you once struggled for begins to chase you instead. Life is not something to be forced, nor are people, success, or happiness. The more you try to control, the more resistance you create. The more you chase, the further things seem to run. But when you let go, when you stop blocking, stop begging, and simply align yourself with the natural flow of life, everything begins to shift. The relationships you once struggled to maintain become effortless. The opportunities you once feared losing begin to appear on their own. The success you once chased starts moving toward you, not because you forced it, but because you became the kind of person who naturally attracts it. This is the great paradox: the less you need, the more you receive. The moment you stop grasping, life has a way of surprising you. So trust in this. Trust in yourself. Stop forcing, stop fearing, and start allowing. Because when you do, you will see what has always been true. What is meant for you will never have to be begged for. It will come naturally, effortlessly, and in ways more shocking than you could have ever imagined.